You sit down to work. You tell yourself, today's gonna be different. And then, 45 minutes later, you're in some kind of doom scroll coma. Your brain feels like TV static, and you've got absolutely nothing to show for it. Here's the thing. You're not lazy. You're not broken. Your hardware is completely fine. The problem is your software. Over the last decade, your environment has been quietly, deliberately infected. Psychological malware, engineered specifically to hijack your attention. So today, we're cracking open your task manager. We're identifying the modern brain viruses that are eating your focus alive. And I'm going to show you exactly how to uninstall them. Virus number 1, the infinite scroll Trojan. So there's this concept in psychology called variable reward. It's the exact same science they use to build casino slot machines. You pull the lever, and you genuinely don't know what you're gonna get. Nothing. Or the jackpot. That unpredictability? It's crack for your brain. Every time you swipe up, your brain gets this tiny little hit of dopamine. 'Cause maybe the next video is gonna be boring. Or maybe it's the funniest thing you've seen all year. You don't know. And that not knowing puts your brain's reward center into a kind of hyper-arousal state, a hungry, searching loop. The problem? Your brain only has so much dopamine to spend in a day. So the infinite scroll Trojan drains your entire supply on cheap digital novelty, on nothing. And then, when you actually sit down to do something hard, your reward system is completely empty. You literally don't have the neurochemicals left to care, right? And that's not a willpower problem. That's a resource problem. Virus number 2, the fake productivity malware. And this one's the sneakiest, because it actually makes you feel like you're winning. This is when you spend 3 hours designing the perfect color-coded schedule, reorganizing your entire desk, watching tutorial after tutorial. You feel productive. You feel like you're moving, but you haven't actually done anything. Psychologists call this the trap of motion versus action. Motion is planning to go to the gym. Action is lifting the weight. Motion feels safe because there's zero risk of failure. You can't fail at color-coding a spreadsheet, but here's what this virus is actually doing to you. It's giving you the psychological satisfaction of checking a box, without ever requiring you to move the needle on a real goal. So you end the day exhausted and completely unaware that you've been running on a treadmill the whole time. Virus number 3, the phantom notification worm. Quick question. Have you ever felt your phone vibrate in your pocket? Checked it, and there was literally nothing there? Your brain has been rewired to anticipate interruption, even when there isn't one. Here's the terrifying truth about human psychology. Multitasking is a myth. Your brain physically cannot process 2 complex tasks at the same time. It can only rapidly switch between them. And every single time you switch, even just glancing at a text message, you pay what researchers call a context switching penalty. Studies show it takes an average of 23 minutes for your brain to return to genuine deep focus after a single interruption. 23 minutes for one glance. So the phantom notification worm isn't just distracting you. It's fragmenting your entire attention span into these tiny, useless little pieces. It makes deep and meaningful work biologically impossible. So, how do we run the antivirus? You have to deliberately engineer friction. Look, you cannot rely on willpower to beat this. Willpower is a battery, and these algorithms, they were designed by rooms full of engineers whose entire job is to drain it faster than you can recharge it. So stop fighting the systems with sheer grit and start changing your environment instead. Put your phone in another room, block the websites, stop mistaking motion for action, and give your brain the quiet, the actual physical quiet. It needs to reset its dopamine baseline. Because here's the real thing nobody talks about. The ability to focus deeply isn't some rare gift. It's just a system. And right now, your system has been compromised. If you want to learn exactly how to rebuild that system from the ground up, hit subscribe. Every week, we break down the psychology of performance. No fluff, no filler.